Bing, bada boom. I'm Allie.
And
How are you?
and I'm Danny.
And today we're going to talk about the positives of content creation because recently I feel like we've been focusing on the negatives, but now that we've got past our whole therapy session, we can start telling you the good things.
Yeah, I think the negatives are obviously important for us to talk about because there's a lot of people dealing with the same issues that we're dealing with. But we keep forgetting to talk about how this is the best job ever, ever, ever. So we definitely want to kind of talk about it a little bit, and I'm sure we'll branch off and talk about a few things along the way, but we're very
So,
excited.
my favorite positive
hmm
is we get to make our own schedule, but that's also one of my worst negatives.
Well, it's not a negative in the field, it's just we take advantage of it.
Yeah, I'm very good at abusing the situations that I'm in. That's like the wrong way to put it. Or I take advantage of the situations that I am, but not intentionally. It just happens.
I think by being your own boss in any situation you're in, if it's being a content creator or if it's just being an entrepreneur,
Entrepreneur is a funny word. Entrepreneur.
filter.
Filter.
Um, but I think there's a you know an importance of scheduling or keeping yourself honest, right?
hmm
So we're going on a couple trips in the next couple weeks. One to South Carolina, one to Columbia, and the one after that to Indianapolis. It's gonna be a lot of traveling for us. And you wanted to look your best. You wanted to be tan. You wanted to do your thing. So like you've been allocating some time during the day to tan,
Yeah, and
and that's okay because you put so much work in else time. So instead of like going 9 to 5 and you're stuck in that schedule, you put in extra work at night when
yes.
it's dark and there is no sun, and you sit out during so you enjoy it. But again, that flexibility, it's not like, hey, boss, buddy, boss, like I'm just gonna not, it's a really nice day out today, I'm just gonna not go in,
But no
right?
one telling you what to do is a dangerous thing. I feel like that's
It is
again.
dangerous. But I would like to also mention this. I don't know how many viewers from Europe there are. If you are from Europe and you're listening to this, please let us know who you are from behind and where you're from. But things in Europe, like there's a lot more free time when it comes to like 9 to 5s, right? There's a lot
Yes.
more time off. There's a lot more like flexibility. There's a lot more like, and here in the US, like you start a job, like you're lucky if you get 2 weeks, like 10 days off,
hmm
and that's it.
Well, also something about me that not many people would know. Well, we posted about almost every time I'm sick. Everyone's like, "Oh, she gets sick so much." It has really helped me recover and become my best self with my health
hmm
because when I would get sick, I wouldn't take those days off of work and it would take me 2 weeks to recover. And days off of work, I mean when I was a full-time nanny,
hmm
and I was just it was one thing after another. I would get sick and then a week later, I would still be down in dumps and get sick again. And it was a
You
cycle.
didn't give your body the time it needed to relax
Yeah.
and to heal itself, right? But again, another advantage of being your own boss is that hey, you're
What a
sick.
privilege and a blessing it is to
Yes,
be able to do that.
yes. And time, I think, it's something that I think everyone will have to deal with at some point if you try to become your own boss in some way, shape, or form. But finding that balance, that work-life balance that we talked about not too long ago in another podcast earlier, um, it's a lot,
We've
right?
had the opportunity to also eat healthier. I mean,
hmm
I don't think we're
We're
doing our
constantly home,
best, but,
constantly home.
cook our own meals, save more money because we have the kitchen at our disposal. We can get up and stop what we're doing if we please to go cook ourselves a meal. And I remember being at work and being like, crap, I left my lunch on the table, and no one is there to bring it to me. So I'd have to order or do something. It's these little luxuries that I sometimes take for granted. I'm not going to say that
But I wouldn't say that's the most positive
I didn't
thing.
say it was the most positive. I already told you what my
Gotta,
most positive was. Is I'm just saying these are the little things that I think about that are such huge benefits
yeah,
to me, and they all help me be better with the way that I'm feeling
I get it.
physically.
I think there's a lot of stuff that people don't think about much anymore, but during COVID, like everyone was forced to work from home, right? Businesses realized that there was an opportunity to having like everyone just work remote, and the job got done, and they're like, why are we spending all this money for an office? to house people when they can just do this work from home.
Is
right?
anyone listening to this a remote worker, and do you enjoy it?
Yes, that's also
Because
huge.
I loved it when you worked from home, but I was never
Oh,
remote.
it was great. It was just so much more calm. And to be honest with you, I'm not gonna say that I wasn't watching like a stream on a second monitor. Like it was happening, right?
Yeah.
Where when if you were in the office, that wouldn't happen. And I was very comfortable in my PJs and sweatpants and t-shirt, right? Where I would have to wear nicer clothes to work. But I swear to you, I think I was more productive at home with all of these distractions and with all these things because I didn't have the people in the office distracting me. I was alone, isolated in my and I know what works best for me, and I knew that the tasks that I needed to get done, and I just made my list. Once I got those things done, I was good, and I just work off the list, and it all worked out for me, like at the time I was just binging Tim the Tam Man and a couple of these other streamers that were just streaming.
Yeah.
But also, as you guys know, COVID is what allowed us to flourish and allowed us, the Twitch stream to grow and the TikTok to grow. Because again, no one was outside, no one was going and doing things. Everyone was just on their phone, right?
It's a little fucked, but COVID was the best time for me. It changed my life, and it's really
Yeah.
fucked up to say that.
Yeah.
But during that time, we created this channel. Everyone was home, and we had eyes on us. And
Look.
now we're doing this full time because of that time during COVID.
Look, I know there were some people when COVID was in its main swing that weren't in a position where they couldn't get out of a situation where they were constantly exposed, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately, a lot of them got sick, and unfortunately, a lot of people passed because they didn't know how to deal with the situation. But I think what we ended up doing was look, our situation was a little different than most. We had the luxury of kind of staying home and taking care of things, right? And for a bit, you weren't even nannying because they just were trying to figure it out.
I couldn't find a job at that point because I just graduated college.
Yeah.
And then I got lucky to find my nannying job. So I did have that stay-at-home virtual experience where I couldn't leave the house. But now I feel like we fell into a loop of that COVID because things were going so well for us that we kind of live the same way. Like, we do not leave the house. We don't.
Not unless we have to.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, there's things that we enjoy outside of the confinements of our home, right? But there's a lot of times when we're like, oh, we got to go do this. We got to go get groceries. We got to do this. I'm like, okay, fine, we do it. But the whole time I'm out there, I'm like, I just want to be home, right?
Yeah.
And
I feel safe
it's a
at home.
safe comfort thing,
Uh-huh.
which is fine. But again, you learn.
I'm sorry.
Because I say "but" again, but it's gonna happen throughout the stream, the podcast. So just live with it.
I will
okay,
laugh
lady?
again.
So I forgot my train of thought. It's over.
We're going to the grocery store. I got so accustomed to it.
That thought was done.
All right, we're getting sidetracked. Okay, favorite positive about being your own boss, working in social media. What are your thoughts?
I think it was amazing to again work with brands that we've always What are you smiling about?
Sorry.
What are you smiling about?
I'm just thinking about your favorite words in this podcast. That's all. Don't get mad, Danny.
I want to get through this, baby. I want to tell everyone all of the great parts, and you're just going to keep holding me up. I know it.
I'm not going to hold you up again.
Are you sure?
Yeah, sure.
Goodness gracious. I don't know.
You lost your train of thought?
I'm annoyed.
You can't be annoyed.
I'm
Come
annoyed.
on. Okay, then I will continue to go.
Okay.
So another perk of social media is that we're doing things that we never could have imagined in our entire life. We're literally getting flown someplace. They're paying for a hotel and we're creating an ad for them. Who the hell could say that I don't know. I never thought this would be in my books for a future of a job. That is so crazy.
We never knew we were going to do this when we started, Aly, right? We were just doing it for fun, and then it turned into something that was making more money than what we were doing, right? So then at that point, we were like, wait, we can reverse the rules here. You know what I mean? We can maybe do this, right? And then it took us some time to figure it out and kind of monetize in different ways and figure it out, right?
Okay, hear me out though.
Uh-huh.
Remember, so a lot of people get mad at us for getting free stuff. Free stuff is a huge perk of having a social media following. I used to think it was so messed up that all these rich celebrities got free stuff. because obviously they can afford it. But come on, it is a cool ass perk to get
But
free
the best
stuff.
part is we're not even rich, or we're not a celebrity, and we still get free stuff.
Yeah, but I guess, but
So what I'm saying is, businesses value a number and a check mark on social media, right? And despite who we are, I think we're decent people, but regardless, right? These companies would be like, oh my God, if we just send them something and then they get like, if it's in a video and people ask about it, it's free exposure for them, right?
Yeah.
So they rather send us this $200 item and no questions asked, not even, hey, you have to post about it, because they say, hey, here, you can have this thing, because they hope one day it gets posted about.
and then probably if you
Like
keep posting, you get
McDonald's
more.
reach out and say, hey, we have some of these limited edition sauces. Do you want them? What are we going to say? No. So we say yes, and then we're all excited about them, and then we post about it, but they didn't even ask us to post about it, right? But then you got brands that are willing to pay us to expose their brand or expose a product to our audience, to our following, to our community.
We get paid to show people things we already use.
Yes. So that was the biggest thing for us, is building a relationship with brands that we use on a daily basis anyway, right? Because that's where the natural, easy content comes, right? Like HyperX was my choice of keyboard, mouse, headphones, mouse, like everything already. And then I was going through all these different products on different brands, because that's what I was doing for TikTok.
Yeah, we were trying, we were buying all these different brands, kind of wasting money, not really, and then just using them for a while so that we can get reviews on them. And
so, but I don't think it's wasting money, right?
I said kinda.
Yeah, but I would say it's not, right? I think at our stage, when we had a decent enough following that people cared about what we thought of a certain keyboard or mouse or whatever, right?
Yeah.
If we never posted that content, I guarantee HyperX never even would consider, because again, we had a proof in the pudding, right? We had all these different, reviews and stuff go really well, and mouse reviews, keyboard reviews, and all these different things already go well. So then now when they're like, oh, maybe we sign these people, maybe we like make these people a partner for us, I'm sure they looked at our past posts and saw all these different reviews and things that did really well, right?
Yeah.
And that wouldn't have happened if we just didn't spend the money. And at the same time, it was good content for us. It gained us followers, right? But if you have 0 followers on TikTok, I wouldn't suggest you go out and buy thousands of dollars worth of tech gear and review it, right? But I think once you start gaining traction in the realm of tech reviews, buy things that you think you would use and review them, and then you can also utilize it for content for yourself and better your content, but at the same time also post out reviews. I think it's a win-win, especially with that.
True.
There's a lot of people doing that nowadays. It's kind of been a lot more diluted now, but when we were just starting, that was like huge.
Yeah. Another positive for me is the people that we meet.
Yeah.
I was in Discord the other day, and we had like 10 people in there. We were just laughing and giggling. None of us have ever met in person, but it was the coolest thing. We were all bonding over the same shit and playing games together and bullshitting. I don't know. And everything, like, forget everything else. Those moments that we get to experience and know that we're the reason why all these people are together make everything worth it.
100%. It's the community, right? Everything we do is to build the community and grow the community and try to find more awesome people to have part of our family, right?
Yeah.
And, community days and all these things are just great ways of getting to know the people that support us on a daily basis that right now might just be a username for us. But then we want to take that to the next level. We want to build these relationships. And eventually now, like, there's a couple that I've met strictly through gaming and friends that are now my best friends. You know what I mean? Like, I'm literally going to be like a groomsman for one of.
I love the way your eyes get when you tell that. Like,
it's
they
cool.
get
It's
all
cool as
big
shit.
and happy.
You know what I mean? Like, this kid, he's become like one of my best friends, you know? And we've met through gaming. We met through people that knew each other through gaming. So it was just like all a big mush of gaming friends that we ended up all being introduced to one another. And now we play together every single day, right?
Yeah.
It's their escape, right? My work, right? And that's the next thing, right? Like, is it really work, right? Yes.
Moments, yeah.
There's moments when it's like, okay, let's get this done, right? And then there's moments where It just happens because I want to do it,
Yeah.
and then it's not work.
I mean, lately I've been feeling like all these moments feel like we have to do them rather than something
It's not
we
like
want
we
to
can't
do.
get on the flight tomorrow and go to South Carolina. Like we have to.
Don't you dare complain. Like,
No,
what
but
the
what I'm
fuck?
saying, no, it's not. It's not complaining,
What do you
right?
mean?
That there's requirements, right? It's getting to the point now that, like, you wake up in the morning, you don't feel good, you still got to go, right? Because the
But-
ad is happening, if you like it or not. Like, you need to be there, right?
Yeah, but
But what I'm saying is, there's just more things like that are happening now. The
where we
more
don't
we
have
grow,
control of what we
yes,
do.
exactly.
Okay.
Which is fine, because again, I think for me personally, not having full control is okay.
I mean, we
Like
pick
you
those
saying,
dates
like
though.
exactly, like we figuring out, like, okay, Tuesday and Thursdays we post our podcasts, right? But that means we got to record on Monday and Wednesday, and having that as like a have to do makes me feel good, because I know that when I get that done, I accomplish something that day.
Yes.
Right?
Okay, so that brings up another topic. I know we're focusing on the good, but it's a bit hard to feel accomplished in this area when nothing is happening because you don't know when things are going to happen. So, for instance, this podcast, like when we get it done on that Monday and Wednesday, I do feel accomplished because I had something on my list. But other than that, I haven't really been feeling accomplished unless something is happening for us, like a deal's in the works and we lay down that deal.
Yeah, it's hard to judge, especially in content creation, right? Because it's hard to judge success. in
Yeah,
these
I think
in-
that's a fair thing to say.
but like where, if you're running a Shopify store and you're trying to like push people to buy your product or whatever it may be, you can judge success off of money, right? I guess that's one thing we could judge our success off of, but like for us, if we get one deal a month, that is great, right? Because, we're super fortunate to be in a spot with the following that we have, that some brands want to work with us, and they do have a bunch of requirements, but
That's true.
it does pay well.
I
right?
have to say, if we got one ad a month, we would be okay and probably our stress would go away.
Yeah.
We wouldn't work any less. We would work just as hard.
Yeah, but that just extra layer of like not knowing like where the next paycheck's coming from. Because again, as you guys know, we don't rely on the Twitch income. That's just an added bonus.
Yeah.
And we try to continue to grow the community, and that's your way of connecting to me and Aly. But at the end of the day, TikTok and working with brands and trying to have that outreach.
So the
to them.
positive, money's great.
Money is good when it's happening.
Yes.
Right. So there's 3-month spans that we don't get any ads. Right. And then that one ad that we did 3 months beforehand, we finally get paid for, because there's the net 60s and all this other crap.
Yeah.
Right. But when the actual money, these big brands that want to reach out, they're willing to spend the money to try to pay for what they want. Right?
Yeah.
And that's been great. Right.
Well, you can also, I think, set your own prices, which is cool. If you hold out on situations, like for instance, I keep bringing this up. We got offered $500 for something. We're like, no, we got offered $500 when we had 10,000 followers type thing. We're past that point, and we said no to that. And then all of a sudden, we get offered 10,000 for the same type of concept, and that's just nuts. So I feel like you're able to decide what you want to do with your price point.
I don't think that's true.
Why not?
Because there has to be statistics to back it up, right? When we got offered that $500 deal, that was management reaching out to a company that we wanted to work with for a particular scenario, right? And there was other companies that fit that mold too, but I knew that through someone else that also works with them, that
They're
they were decent
stingy.
people, right? No, they were decent. They were decent people. That's why I
Really?
wanted to work with them in the first place, okay? And they probably didn't have it in their budget. They're like, wait, these people are trying to come to us. Let's just give them something instead of nothing and see if they take it, right? And that's where I think it came from. Do I think that was an honest number? No, but I thought that was a number that they can't refuse, like their boss can't say, hey, we offer these people $500, see if they did it. They can never be like, oh, that was stupid, right? Because it would be money in their pocket. right? They would make more off of our ad than what they
Yeah.
would pay us, right? But
But what I'm saying is that the creator can decide.
it's not true. Just because you have like 100,000 followers doesn't mean you can charge people $20,000. You can't, because there's a flow of what value and eyes get you in price and money. And if there's, I wouldn't say there's a standard, but I would say there's certain companies, certain brands, certain avenues, right? If you're working with like a food company, if you're working with a tech company, they all have different standards and different amounts that you would pay for a certain post or a certain thing. But it's finding your amount, and that's the hardest part, right? Because you're always gonna like, oh my God, they're giving me $2,000. That's great. I'm gonna take it. But they were probably willing to give you 8, right? So you have to be willing to negotiate for yourself and then not leave money on the table. Because most of the time there are these companies that their number that they give you is obviously like a min, right? And they have wiggle room. It's just, they're interested in you. If they contact you, there's wiggle room.
Yeah.
But most of the time they ask you for your rates. And the reason they do that is one of my things that my dad always told me was to never give out your first number.
We try
But it's
so
become a
hard.
standard now that the creator sets their rates, which I try to break that mold whenever I can, because you might undervalue yourself to what they are, right? So you never want to be the first person to give out a number in negotiation, because you never know exactly where you're going to be, right?
Yeah.
Where there were moments when we were first starting that we were like, when our first big deal was like Wingstop, and we were like used to getting paid $500, and we're like, this is awesome, like we can go out to dinner this week, like this is awesome, and we can get the good steaks this weekend, and
That's literally what we did.
and
I
then
was
we
like, the
literally one
food.
day we were like, what would you offer? And then next thing you know, they're like $4,000, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, this is unheard of. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? You're gonna give me $4,000 to post a video?
To basically,
You're gonna pay for the food to get to my house, and then you're gonna pay me $4,000 once you approve the post to post it. And they're like, yeah.
I just don't think the work fucking adds up to the pay.
Doesn't matter.
I know it doesn't matter.
Because
what
the
I'm saying
brand
is like,
doesn't give a shit if you spend 30 minutes on it or 15 hours.
I just
As
think
long as the message comes across and your video has a chance of getting in front of your million followers.
you don't
That's
think
all
it's
they care about.
so fucked that people like put their life on the line every day for things, but then we could get paid for something that might take us an hour for just post. I know the exposure thing, but I just sometimes relate to that, and it's pretty fucked.
But everyone can paint their own path, right? They take their own path they want to go down, okay? Some people's scenarios are a little different than others. I completely understand that.
Okay.
Right? Sometimes just the situation you're born into is just a
Like
lot different than others.
Nepo babies. Do you know what Nepo babies are?
No, but can I finish my thing?
Nepotism? You don't know what nepotism is?
Yeah, it's like, yeah, I know what nepotism is,
Okay.
but like it's like getting hired by your dad to do, like kind of, it says no nepotism. We had that, it was in the contract because I worked for
Yeah.
the same company as my dad, and like they were like, hey, look, like we can't have this connection, and that's, it was just weird.
So you were a Nepo baby?
Not really. I was fucking doing the worst work in the fucking place. All the jobs that no one else wanted to do, that was me. So like I was their saving grace at some moments. But what I'm saying is that for people to be like, I know that there's people that literally put their lives on the line for us on a daily basis to protect us and keep us safe, And do I feel bad that they're getting paid X amount of dollars and I'm getting paid this? No, because we worked so hard to get where we're at now, and we did the work, right? I worked a job that I didn't care about.
I'm worried that this is going to be so controversial.
Aly, that's not but like, Aly, what do you want me to say? I feel bad that Joe Schmo is making X amount of dollars at McDonald's and I'm making this. Like that's like
Mm,
you can't feel bad for
no,
that.
I was just saying it's just crazy how much money is in social media and content creation
But you
when
asked if I
people
felt bad.
I
That's your
did
question.
okay.
And I'm saying no because like at the end of the day, those people that like work these jobs that they don't want to work, but then do nothing in their off time to try to better themselves or to try to get to the next step. Why would I feel bad for someone that's not applying
Well, I
themselves,
mean, they
right? But
obviously
then there's people that, yeah, they maybe the guy that works at McDonald's, like my buddy Marco, worked at McDonald's when we were in high school for no fucking reason. Like the man, like his family was okay, well, but they incorporated him being a hard worker. He worked at McDonald's in a town that his grandma, like it was 2 towns over from us because his grandma got her coffee from the McDonald's every morning and became friends with the manager. And then she was like, "Hey, can you give my son a job?" And he was like, "Yeah." Without question asked, Mark was like, "Okay, let me go over there." Dog shit money, dog shit work, terrible hours, but he did it during high school. Like
yeah.
we literally had games and all that stuff. And the free days when we didn't have like a game, he was in fucking the other town working McDonald's. But nowadays, this man, like while doing all that and doing all this stuff, he could have just been a student, but he decided not to. And then when he was going to college, he was also bartending, doing all these like, other things, right?
Yeah.
He didn't have to. He didn't have to do that. His parents were paying for his college, but he did it because he was grinding. Like he wanted to keep earning money. And next thing you know, he owns a bakery now, and it's printing him money. But again, it's the work ethic and the constant effort of trying to better yourself and to constantly like he sacrificed a lot to get where he's at, right?
I
And the
guess
same way we did. And
yeah.
the same way the people that are maybe not all millionaires, but the self-made millionaires, they didn't just wake up in the morning and have $1 million in their bank account. They earn it.
I guess what I'm trying to say was I was shocked that there's stupid money in social media. You wouldn't think that, and
Yeah,
it's fucking nuts.
but at the same time, like there's stupid money in a lot of places, right?
Okay, but
There's
I'm
stupid
just
money.
saying personally I
I'm
didn't
sure
know.
there's someone that creates some kind of, you know, importer exporter from Germany, right? Like there's probably great money in that. There's probably great money in pallets. Whoever decides to have a pallet company, I'm sure there's great money in that, right? But again, it's finding what works for you and what you enjoy doing and then trying to capitalize it and make it a living, right? I would be, you know, at the end of the day, right? We're making ends meet. We are. Would I say we're backing up the Brinks trucks? No, we're not.
What does
So
that mean?
like the Brinks trucks, you know, the things that people always get robbed in the TV shows, the big armored trucks that carry
An
all the money.
armor truck? Yeah.
We're not packing one of those of all of our savings. We just don't. We don't have it. So like I don't want to come across as like we're making a ton of money, right? Yes, we've signed $10,000 deals, but that was one deal that we did in 3 months, right? And then we have our mortgage, our car payments, our insurance, all these things. There's a lot of money in the individual deals, but the how frequent they are is what would make the difference, right?
Yes.
If we had 3 freaking deals a month, don't get me wrong, not every deal we do is $10,000. It's not. Those are multi-post deals that we have to post over a certain amount of time and certain like things like that. But single deals, there's anything from $1,000 to $3,000-$4,000, right? So, but again, there could just be one of those a month. There could be one in 3 months, right? And then we're living off of the savings that there was a month that we did 2 ads, right? So there's a lot that goes into it. And yes, there's a lot of money in social media, but
yeah.
I'm sure at the ultimate level, like the Logan Pauls, all these guys that are huge
Oh,
following it,
multi-million dollars
it's
for
like
a
one
post.
exactly.
And
But
they're set
that's
for life.
not the fact for us in the grand scheme of things and
Yeah.
the way we're living and the house and all these stuff. It's trying to get more the amount of them increased,
Yes.
and then we can start saving for our family, saving for all these extra things. But right now, we're making enough money to allow us to live,
Yes.
right, and to enjoy ourselves and do a little extra stuff. And I can open CS:GO packs, and you can buy extra dresses and those little extra things, right? But that's not enough to just be like, oh, if we put that money away, we can save for a kid. Like we haven't hit that point yet. We just haven't.
Yeah.
So like I want that to be clear. There's the positives in, yes, one deal can really, get you paid, but if you can figure out how to lock in multiple deals in a month or multiple deals every month, then you're really fucking moving.
Yeah.
Right? But right now, I think everyone's still a little hesitant about the TikTok stuff. That's where we get most of our work from. And I think, again, there was months that we did 2, 3 in a month, and it was great. But there's also been the 3 or 4 months after that we had absolutely nothing.
Everything keeps like backtracking and bouncing it out. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, we got paid. Oh my God, we could be ahead. But then like nothing happens the next month.
Well, yeah.
Which
And
is
then it's like,
fine.
oh, yeah, we got these 3 ads that we just did. But then we're like, oh, we're looking at our bank accounts. We're like, okay, a mortgage this month, next month. And then we get paid because it's a net 60. We're like, okay, like we're good. But would be nice if we got paid right now,
Yeah, if we didn't have any of the money saved up, we wouldn't be
That
able
was
to
the
do
thing.
this.
You have to have money saved to start. You have to, because when you start getting paid and you want to start doing this full time and you're starting to get these paychecks, they come 60 days after you do the work.
I don't think this is a negative, but I know we're talking about positives.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot live paycheck, in my opinion, you cannot live paycheck to paycheck in content creation.
You can.
You think so?
Yes. You just got to sign the right deals. You got to sign the guaranteed
Oh,
deals.
I mean without guaranteed deals.
Well,
I
no,
meant.
but you can't say now, in those scenarios without guaranteed deals, right?
Well, help me out here then.
I'm trying. So again, the money is the possibilities are endless when it comes to social media, right?
They are.
Your value is what the brand is willing to spend, right? And there's some brands that have a little bit more fucking oomph in their bank account than others, okay? And at the end of the day, if the brand wants to reach out to you and want you to be on their partner program or put you on a month to month or a year contract, that's guaranteed income. That's consistency. That's exactly what you're striving for, right? If you can do a long-term deal and you can build these relationships with like a brand, let's just say McDonald's, right? You do an ad for them and then they really like you. They do another ad for them. They really like you. Then you could pitch, hey, would you want me to be on your, we can give you 1 post a month and we are guaranteed for 12 months and you pay us X amount of dollars, right? But again, those relationships don't just happen, right? Those opportunities don't just happen, right? So these are the things that you strive for. And again, it's a huge positive because again, the biggest ones, for instance, like HyperX for us, we love the product already so much, we would post about it anyway. The requirements aren't a lot. We meet those anyway, if we weren't partnered with them. So in essence, it's money that they would be paying us monthly for us to do what we were doing anyway, right? And that's the ideal situation, right? And again, I know it's ideal for us. That's not ideal for maybe someone else. But again, whatever niche, whatever something, I guarantee there's someone out there that would be willing to pay you for your services monthly instead of just a one-time basis, right?
Yeah.
But again, it's just finding the right scenarios to do so. And again, if you can lock that in, huge positive, right? It's literally like a full-time job that someone's paying you that money-wise. It's just, but you're already doing what you love to do. Like it's coming, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Another perk, sponsors. Sponsors are cool because they give you free stuff. But
yes.
there also is requirements.
And they also pay you, right?
It depends what type of sponsorship you have. So we have
multiple different kinds, right?
Yeah.
So current one, HyperX, that's just a year contract to pay me monthly. I have certain deliverables and stuff like that.
Let's make that clear. We kept telling them that we don't get a paycheck monthly except for Twitch, which we don't. HyperX payment has been weird. It's been
That's on me, not on them.
Yeah.
You don't. It's
okay,
not even
but
worth
so
mentioning.
we don't get paid monthly from HyperX at the moment, but we should have been. But it was on us. Well,
There was but again, I don't think it was even worth talking about because at the end of the day, I had to invoice them on the same day of every month, and their invoice number in the first 2 or 3 months was just a little off, right? Like something was wrong with this, like how to like lock
so
it in
I'm
with
just
the
trying to
taxes
say
and
we
stuff.
didn't get paid monthly by HyperX, but
But-
we got what we were paid.
But it's at the end of the day, the X amount of dollars at the end of the year was still in my bank account.
I know. That's what I
But-
just said.
But regardless, it is consistent income. Despite if it's in my account or not, it's my money.
But I'm just saying it wasn't a monthly paycheck like you were.
But it is. So you see it as physical in my bank account, right? Like it wasn't there on the 14th of every month, right?
Yes,
My
that's what we're
head,
talking about. We're
my
talking about
head,
deposit wise.
my head. As soon as you put our sign that name on the dotted line after all the negotiations, all of that, 3.3, like whatever it was, whatever the X amount of dollars every month in my bank account.
No,
If
because
it's not in there yet, it's still in there because they owe me, right? The same way when you do ads and you come up with these, like these people locked in for this amount of money, and you're like, okay, we have this, this, and this, and this coming. It's the same thing. I
yeah,
have
but
it
that
in
doesn't
there.
mean we were
It's
paid
there.
monthly. I'm just saying that we.
It's our money. They just haven't paid us yet, right? That's like they still paid us monthly. They allocated X amount of dollars a month to pay us.
But it didn't come in each month, so we still went months without paychecks. That's what I'm trying to fucking say.
That was on us, not on them.
I didn't say it was on them.
But what I'm saying is, if we were in dire need of that money, that payment, we could have figured it out and got it from them. But we weren't super stressed about it at the time because we had money saved up. We weren't going to be the nuisance of the new partners that we were so lucky to just be there, right? So that we just decided instead of doing that and being that nuisance, we tried to figure it out. And then at the end of the day, they paid us like 4 months at one time and then 4 months at another time. You know what I mean? It was just easier at that point. But don't say that those things like.
I'm just saying it contradicts what you were saying in
What do you
other
mean? That is
podcasts.
consistent income.
I didn't say it wasn't consistent income. I just said you weren't getting paid. Danny, don't do this to me.
What
Don't
do you
fucking do this to
mean?
me. You said, we get.
I chose to not be the nuisance. If I wanted to, I'd be like, hey, buddy, I need to get paid. This is part of the contract. I need you to pay me.
Because we're
But
literally
I
telling
decided
them how
not-
we went X amount of months without getting paid from an ad.
Yes,
and
that
then
was
saying,
before.
oh, but-
That was way before we started to get into like the full-time contract stuff. And you know that.
No.
That was only been the last year. We've been doing this for almost 5 or 6 years.
I'm literally just talking about. Oh my God.
But do you understand what I'm saying?
No. Do you understand what
Locking
I'm
in
saying?
those deals was consistent income for us. If you want to see it in your account yet or there on the 14th of every month, or if it's in the HyperX bank account with my name on it, it's still my money. It's still our money.
I didn't say it wasn't your money. I was just talking about the timing of a monthly paycheck. It wasn't a freaking monthly paycheck. I'm literally
It
just.
was.
Oh my God.
How can you say it wasn't, Aly?
What do you mean? How can I say it wasn't? It didn't come in every fucking month. We literally talked about how we went 3 months or go 3 months or 2 months
We're
without a
talking
paycheck.
about that beforehand. This past year, I would say we had X amount of dollars per month in our account from HyperX. If it happened on the 14th of every day, or if they paid me 4 months in, I don't know. For me, like the money is there, right? It's coming. It's there. They're guaranteed to us, signed on the dotted line. I met the requirements. They have to pay me, right?
Yeah.
And so that was to me consistent income. That is money at the beginning of the year that you know is coming.
I didn't
Every
say-
single month, X amount of dollars. At the end of that 12 months, there's that amount of money in my bank account.
But it didn't come every single fucking month.
Okay, Aly, I know that it wasn't as consistent as you said, but again, when you start the year and you're trying to plan out your year of content creation, you're trying to figure out your budgets, and you want to know what you can afford with a home and your cars and all these
Yes.
things, right? The X amount of dollars is coming, right? And you can rely on that. That at the end of the year you have X amount of dollars in your bank account. Okay.
You could
And-
rely on it, but if it's not there, you can't
Aly,
use it.
holy shit. Aly, I could have got it at any moment of the month. I told you this multiple times. I was like, I don't want to be the nuisance because I'm the new partner. They could just as easily pay me the next month. The money's not just going to go away, right? And I tried to be the easy partner. I did not try to stir pots. I did not want to be the annoying one that they just brought in on, you know what I mean? And I explained this to you, right? And I didn't know how the online system worked. It was being glitchy. I wasn't going to press my contact to try to help me. I personally was just trying to kind of ride the wave, right?
Yes.
Just I wanted to be everything that they ever wanted in a partner and to put the brand first and all these different things. I wanted them to see me as that, not the annoying person worried about when they got paid. Right. At the end of the year, I know they owed us what they agreed to bond. And at the end of the day, I did it when it was convenient for them to walk me through it, to sit through it, to
Yes.
submit the invoices manually on their end because there was a problem online, right? On my end. You say you just didn't see the money in there monthly. I get that. But at the same time, I told you, like, when you plan as like what I'm doing, I would say I'm the money person in the crew, right? That plans everything and schedules everything and pays all the bills and does it. That's me, right? And when before
But I'm
the year
also
started,
dyslexic, so I can't do
regardless,
that
you can
number.
use that as an excuse if you want, but that's my job in this relationship. That's one of the things I take care of, right?
Yeah.
And when I sign that deal, the weight gets taken off your shoulders because at the same time, that is your new starting point, right? And then you could see how far you can go and see how well you can do and provide for your family after that point because you already signed the dotted line. This year, you make this amount of money through this brand, right? And that was life-changing for me because, again, I was getting paid for doing something that I would do anyway.
Okay, I was just personally saying that we did.
You're going to keep repeating the same thing. I think we just pass it at this point because everyone understands who's listening my point of view as being the person that does the bills and does all these things, right? And then
You literally can't say that you got paid monthly when it didn't come in monthly. That's a being like, oh yeah, I get paid monthly, but their paycheck
Allie,
comes.
if I wanted to be the dickhead and said, "Hey,
I'm not saying you need
hey,
to be. I'm just
buddy,
trying to go.
HyperX Jimmy 22, fucking pay me. It's been a month. You said I would set the invoice. You have 30 days after this point to pay me. If you don't pay me, I can't figure it out. You better get on the phone with me right now, and I want to get paid. Pay me.
I
pay
didn't
me.
say you're just making shit
But
up now.
I don't want to be that guy. And I knew at the end of the day, I want to be like, hey guys, like whenever you have free time, I know you're extremely busy.
I'm not
help me
saying
out.
you were wrong. I'm saying everything's fine. I was just trying to correct the statement that you said you were getting paid monthly aside from Twitch, which wasn't necessarily the case. Holy shit. I can't with you. I can't. Every time I say some shit that you don't like.
Maybe the money wasn't in the account, right?
Yeah.
But they were on the hook for it.
I didn't say that they weren't.
And if God forbid I needed that money the next day and they, it was past the net 30 or 45 that they had set, I would get the money. I know I can. But I wasn't going to be the annoying guy because at the time we were okay.
You're totally missing the point. You're totally missing the point.
I don't think so. I think there's going to be people on both sides.
No, I think everyone's going to agree with me.
That is your problem. Like, you can't. I didn't think you were ever like this, that you can't put yourself in my shoes.
No,
I understand your point of view. I get it. Like, yes, maybe on the X amount of, like, the same day, at the same time, a day every month, that the money didn't get just put in our account.
If you're not physically getting a monthly paycheck, it is not monthly.
Allie, do you understand that the deal was to get a monthly paycheck? But
Yes.
because I had
That's
issues.
Fine. I said you had issues, but I'm just saying.
We could have.
Oh my God.
But I just chose not to.
But then I'm just saying you contradict yourself where you're like, oh yeah,
But
we
it's
got a monthly
there.
paycheck from there,
Oh,
but we
no.
didn't.
Oh my God. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, what other positives about social media? Dude, this thing's gotta end.
Allie, you are a pain in my ass.
You're the biggest pain in my ass.
You know that?
We're supposed to come in here happy. But what you gotta do?
I mean, it's positives, right? We're talking about fucking money that a company is paying us for doing what I love to do,
we
right?
sound like brats.
It's a positive.
We're brats.
No, we're not brats, Allie. You are thinking we sound like brats. We're not brats. I promise you. I promise you, Allie.
I only said
We're just
because I
speaking
didn't.
the truths, right? Like we're obviously grateful for everything that the brands ever do for us, right? Don't cover my feet. It's free toesies.
No,
It's fine.
everyone keeps talking about your free toes on my stream and shit, and I'm like,
I don't wear fucking shoes
They're
anymore
like
in here in
this.
Florida. I
They're-
wear Crocs and bare feet.
Crocs fucking rock.
Yeah. I want to work with Crocs,
Me too.
but we'll talk about that another time. But look, there's a lot of positives. There are. Just flexibility, doing what you love to do. Me as like a content creator / streamer, streaming, playing video games, like what can you really complain about? Yes, there are burnout moments. There are these things, but at the end of the day, the other day was in my attic changing a light fixture above the ceiling, and I couldn't like how do people fucking do this on a daily basis? Like I was like I'm just granted I've done that work before. I have I literally have done this kind of work before. That's why I felt comfortable enough doing it, electrical and hanging my chandelier and
You came out of that
remounting,
attic like
drenched in
you
sweat.
got.
It was like 140 up there.
It's like
I
you were
mean,
held
it's
captive for
100 degrees
days.
outside, and then that's an area in the house that just fucking gets beat on with.
And then there was like fluff all over our house. And
Well,
the
it was the
floor.
insulation. It was bad. It was but we vacuumed out. We took care of it. But look, at the end of the day, that put things in reference for me. This is the work I used to do, and this is the work I do now. Right? It's a luxury. It's very amazing. I'm very grateful to be in a spot where I can do this work. But I was like, holy fuck! Like my body couldn't do it. Like I was just up there. I was like,
Yeah, I don't know how you lifted yourself up there. Your shit went like, your arms were like, and I was like, oh, he's gonna fall. And then
Yeah,
Danny came down on the ladder, and I got scared, and I banged my head
because
against the wall.
It's like 10-foot ceilings, give or take. So then the 6-foot ladder, I had to kind of like get myself up in there, and then like kind of get my knees up there, and like step on the joist along the way. And
When you were coming
when I was
down,
coming down, my feet kind of dangle. So once I like catch myself on my like arms,
well, you were
straight,
like, Aly, can you see?
and I was like, Aly, put the ladder under my feet. And then she like freaked out, thought I was going to fall. And then like tried to move the ladder. And then I got my foot on it. And then she like banged her head against the door. And I'm like, this is not good.
And he's like, help me. I'm like, ooh, ooh. And then for like 2 days, I'm like, God damn, my head hurts. Is something there? Danny's like,
Yeah, I'm like, Aly, this is
"Remember
where you hit your
banged
head. She's like, it really hurts, like right here. Is you sure? And she's like parting her hair and stuff. And she's, you sure something's not there? And I'm like, Aly, that's literally where you fucking hit your
And then
head.
he's like, wow,
3 days now.
if you were shaved bald, your head would be so white.
Yeah, no,
You're the
your
whitest
scalp is
scalp.
whiter than my ass cheeks. Like, dude, I don't know how
Wait,
it's possible.
What did you call it? A scallop?
Your scalp.
I think you called it a scallop.
Not scallops.
I think you
No,
called
your
it a scalp. I have to go look back.
No way, Aly. I know what a scalp is.
You can see, you just said
God.
scallop.
No, it's not scallop. That's a food.
It's scalp.
No, it's scalp.
Yeah, you
Your
said-
scalp.
You said scallop.
Fuck off. But we had, it's nice kind of putting the work in for a business that's yours, right? Like a lot of the times you work for somebody or the big honcho, and then you put all the effort in and they get the praise, or you put the work in, and then at the end of the day you just make them more money. You just make your X amount of dollars a month.
We are in control to some extent of making ourselves our own money, depending on how we go about things, like, or the work that we put. If you stop making that face, Danny, we
I'm
cannot work
confused what
together.
you're trying to say. We're in complete control.
No, because we have management.
Okay. They're just trying to find us extra money. We don't rely on them to make us a living. We both know this.
I want to fight you today.
No, you're just in the argumentative mood.
No, I think
And
I'm a
you're
little
just-
bit
I
hungry
feel like
again.
sometimes
I'm
you just
hungry again.
Oh no.
I told you I wanted
You're
an
just
English
hangry
muffin.
all the time. Just all the time. You're hangry
But
now.
I asked you for an English muffin before we started this podcast. And would you say, I don't know how to make those?
No. First you asked for some orange juice with no pulp. And I said,
No, I said I wanted cold fruit.
yes. And then we didn't have any. And then we are so off the fucking track right
I
now.
have watermelon in the fridge. You didn't look and see that?
Aly, I went in there for orange juice. I know where the orange juice is. Top right shelf. Boom. I'm not going to just scan the whole thing when I know I'm going for orange juice. You know what I mean? like I know what I want. I know where it is.
That's why
I
when you
grab
go
for
in
it.
the fridge, you ask me, you're like, oh, do we have anything to eat? I'm like, you were just in there. So you only go and look for what you want and then leave and don't.
By the way, this pulp orange juice is great.
Pulp is nasty. It tastes like fucking like butterfly hairs in a drink. It's like,
Butterfly hairs in a drink. Okay.
I can't do this anymore.
No, we need to. Aly, we gave him 3 positives and we talked about 1,000 negatives.
That's fine. Deal with it.
No.
Danny, come on. Come on. Give him a little, tell him this is we'll name this positives about content creation, and Danny and Aly have a little fight. And then we'll go back on our merry-go-round way. We have to put the sheets on the bed. You put the sheets on your bed by yourself.
Oh my God. Disagree with her one thing. She makes me do shit on my own now. Can we do a recap at
Yeah.
least?
Yeah, recap. Stop. But nothing drives you crazy
Allie,
when you do
Allie,
this
Allie,
shit.
do
Like,
you
I'm
understand
giving you a
how much
headache.
you've just sent me for you sent me for a spin, lady.
Good. I keep you on your toes.
No,
You
I
spin
don't
on
know
your
about
toes.
this. Like you expect me to do more things after this. I'm exhausted. Like you've mentally exhausted me.
What? Because of the month's paycheck thing? Grow up.
All right.
Oh my God, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? Why you say all
I
right?
remember that.
Why you say all
All
right?
those things you don't understand that I gotta do for you all the time.
I told you I didn't want you to go into the ceiling and you kept begging.
Allie, we had to mount that electrical box and with the arms that go into the studs, the joists,
We could have just
to
got a
hold
boob
up
light.
the chandelier
We
that
could
you
have
wanted.
just got a boob light.
We don't want a boob light over the freaking dining room table, Allie. You knew that for a fact, and if I put a boob light there in 2 months, you would ask me to fucking change it because you're like, Danny, what house has a boob light over the dining room table? And I'm like, the one that you told me to put one there.
The way that you mimic me is honestly so disrespectful because here's what you do. You be like, oh my God, you'll do that one. Then you say, Danny.
Yeah, that's when you like just tell me to do things you don't want me to like. You just want me to do it, right? Like that's the like, Dan, just put the light up, man. Like it's okay, just put it up.
I wouldn't say, Danny, just put the light up. Like, I don't say, Danny, just put the light up, man. I don't say that.
Holy fuck. Okay.
Do you recap?
Obviously, me and Allie have to work on things. All right. We have to work on our communication, I guess. I thought our communication was fantastic. But you could trust me when it comes to the money and the payments because that's what I do for our relationship, right? I cannot cook for the life of me, but I promise you I'm good with numbers and I can take care of things, right? And that's my forte.
Yeah,
okay?
but I'm good at cooking and balling on a budget. I will find the deals of the deals.
Okay, that still doesn't help. Okay.
Because I do have a little bit of forte in money. I save you. If I find something if I find something that goes on
about you're good with the numbers and the money.
I could tell you the prices of each item of which grocery store sells it the cheapest.
Okay, that may be true. But then when you start adding them up,
that's a whole nother issue.
It's a whole nother issue, right? Or when you like look at the size.
6 times 5. Go.
What do you mean?
6 times 5.
30.
6 times 6.
36.
4 times 8. Gotcha.
32.
Gotcha.
You had to think about it for a second.
Do it to me.
What's 16 times 16?
No, 100 and...
Okay, look, regardless, right? I'm talking about like pure size of things. Allie tried to order flour the other day in a small little pack to do like one little thing, and she ordered like a fucking 5-pound bag, right? So like she just doesn't understand.
Happened once. You can't keep telling that story. You told that
Allie,
to the guy who was doing your
you literally were
suits.
dying laughing. This guy was like putting it over his shoulder to bring it up into our front door from the fucking thing, and you were just dying laughing. And
I did say, uh-oh.
He said, uh-oh. And I was like, what? And she's like, I got too much flour. And I put my head around the corner from the gaming room. It's just her with like a 5-pound bag, just like she's about to make bagels for the entire state.
Bagel.
Okay.
I
Look,
can't do this anymore.
I can't either. And I really don't think anyone's going to get value from this.
No, they'll get... I bet you somebody will laugh. I bet you someone will say, fuck these people. They're so dumb. Or, yeah.
Yeah, there's only two. There's only two. I really hope like whoever's stopping, they're not this far. They definitely left already. But
No,
if
because I'm
anyone
staying.
that has came into the stream into this podcast for the first time and has watched this entire fucking thing and you're still here, I love you. Okay, and please let me know that you were the first time watching the podcast and it was today.
And don't judge us off of today, because today was a little fluke. We have a lot of stuff going on.
Well, we have a lot of positives when it comes to content creation, and we really
We
should
just
have probably
dropped the
touched on
fucking
more of them.
ball.
But I think all in all, it's a great job. You should, if you have the opportunity to pursue it, do it. But again, only do it when the time's right. This job has the flexibility of doing it whenever you want.
wherever
and
you
wherever.
want.
So make sure you continue doing your day to day. Make sure you're not, putting your family at risk or anything like that for not having money or your daily income or your monthly income or your weekly income or whatever Aly thinks you should get paid.
Oh,
and
you
then-
did not just do that
and
shit.
then,
You want to bring it up
make
again?
sure you're still grinding and doing all the extra stuff off hours from work. All right.
Nice
I'm
doing
not
business
trucing with you.
No, come on. End this shit. Let's fight. Let's go.
Okay.